Hello everyone. Today I wanted to clear up some things regarding the Russell Ferrante video that was recently posted, and it had to do with building complex chords or somewhat complex chords, interesting sounding chords, using two different triads that are at the fifth. So combining a C triad with a G triad. And there was some confusion in how to write the chord symbol for these, so I want to just clear up some things that you may have been confused about. You'll need to watch the Russell Ferrante video. It's a real good video of doing this and inverting these chords to get some interesting sounds. So if you haven't done that, stop this video and go back and do that. But let me just show you what my opinions are on this whole chord symbol thing. So basically, here's what he was talking about. Over the root, so let's say we have C. Let's say we have G over C, and what he does, what he was talking about in the video, was combining two triads, a C triad and a G triad, in such a way that in the middle you have a little cluster of notes. So here's our root note C, so we're going to put G over C. Let's build the C triad first, and this is how he put it together, basically an inversion there. So you've got a C chord there. Now let's put the G chord downwards. So we've got G, D, and B. Now you'll notice this little cluster here, and that's kind of what gives it the characteristic sound. And you can certainly invert that upwards. So taking the C chord, putting the next inversion, and the G chord, the next inversion upwards. And you still have that middle cluster. But how do you notate it? Now normally we would, when you're talking about G over C, you would simply write G over C, G slash C. And what that, traditionally what that will tell a player is to play a G chord over a C bass. But we actually have more than just a G chord, because we have C and E in there. Now E is the sixth, so you could actually say G6 over C, and that would give you a little more information on what the chord actually is. But we also have a C in there, a C in the middle, so this becomes like a voicing thing. And here's a way you could actually notate this chord without too much confusion on the part of the players. If we have a C in the bass, and this is really just a voicing of a C chord, so let's figure out what we got here. We've got the major seventh, we've got the ninth, there's the fifth, the third, the fifth again. So really we've just got a C major 9 chord. So it would be C major 9. Now the way it's voiced obviously is the interesting part, but as a player, a C major 9 will give you all the information of what notes to play. So just by saying G over C really doesn't give you more of the voicing. So how do you give the piano player a little bit more information to play it exactly like that? Well, you can write it for him if you'd like, and don't be afraid to write out the voicing if you're reflecting that in the horn players. You could also, during this passage, you could maybe give him a word like, just say cluster voicings, and so this type of thing he would know to combine some of the, especially the major against the root there, and the major ninth against the third. So that's going to be there anyway. So the point really is, by just saying G over C or F over C, you're giving the information of just a triad over a root note, and it's not going to be as interesting as the way this is voiced. So it really comes down to a voicing issue. I would personally write this before I wrote this, and that's just the way I would do it. So C major 9 gives the player a little more information, because C will tell it to play the root, and the major 9 gives you these other notes up in this area. So I hope that cleared up any confusion you might have had on this, because I think the way that Russell presented it even though it was a brilliant presentation, it might have left a little bit in the way of how to notate that chord, because he always talked about G over C or F over C and so on and so forth. So this particular chord reflects the notes of the chord, I think, better than just simply having a triad slash root note. Because remember, when you put G over C, it really doesn't mean a G triad over a C triad. It means a G triad over a C bass. So this note would be the bass note. Okay, so hope that cleared it up for you, and if you have any questions, just ask away.